Today on Mondays with Math, we are going to talk about the Eliminator contest on Underdog. It's a contest that I really love. I've had some success in it in the 2 years that it's run so far. Last year, I drafted 60 teams and got 2 of them into the top 1%, 2 of them into week 14, 1 into week 15. Both were the top team that was cut in their week. Pretty brutal run out in the end, but still felt pretty good about how I did. But this year, big changes to the format. Now it's head to head, 50% of the field getting cut every single week. So it is pretty different than it was in past years. Payouts are much bigger, much sooner. So I'm excited to talk about it with last year's BBM regular season points champ, Mathology, who always has good ideas for these unique formats. We're going to go over the Eliminator a little bit in just a bit. We'll be back with you in a minute. This is Mondays with Math.
Oh, let's go!
I'm calling it Mathology.
Mathology, without any further ado.
Look, he's got his outfit on.
We are back with another week of Mondays with Math.
He had the best team in the regular season in Ball Mania last year and had nothing to show for it.
I would like to go have some dinner out on Lake Champlain this afternoon.
And of all the BBM teams that we simmed in the Eliminator 2025 structure, Mathology's was the best.
Yeah, it was a good team. You got a big purchase. I saw you got a man's coin.
Mathology, one of the best drafters on Underdog.
The only sin in Mathology is being stupid.
This is just the best ball gods saying we need more Mathology in our lives.
If I win, I'm going to be here. If I lose, I'm going to go back to work.
Damn it, I did it again. Mathology, we got the screen up again. How are we doing today? Monday, is it another nice day there in Vermont?
Yeah, it's a balmy 98 degrees out here.
98,
sweating right now. Just been running around. I walked the dog quick. It's hot. So
where have you been out on the weather today? Are you going to go out on the water?
Probably after this, yeah, we'll hit a local beach. It sounds
Nice.
like there's some families going to meet, some Emmy's good pals. I get along pretty well with their dads. We'll probably hang out, maybe talk a little fantasy football.
Fun. Good times. Yeah. Fantasy football at the lake. Couldn't get any better than that.
Yeah.
Are you excited to talk about the Eliminator? I mean, this is a contest that I love. It seems like a contest that you would love also.
Yeah, I'm kind of taking a little. I'm doing like one BBM a day, but majority of my drafting, when I do have some time, I'm hitting the Eliminator pretty hard. I got a lot of slows going. But yeah, a contest that I don't know if I'll quite max it, but I'll be pretty close.
I'm going to try to max it. I will say, so one piece of advice that I've been giving all along, and I do have one piece of content behind the paywall on this channel, that is my Eliminator strategy. The first thing that I say is I think it's best to save your entries. If you look at the data from past years, typically teams that were drafted later scored more fantasy points, like 20 to 30 more drafted in August versus like May. So I think for the Eliminator in particular, where you are every single week, you're getting a new opponent. So as soon as week 2, I might be a team that I draft today might be going against somebody who was drafting in May with a lot less information than we have now. So I think it's a big edge, but now it's like the point where I'm like, all right, I'm getting all my Eliminators and it does feel like it's going quickly right now. So I'm like, man, I want to max it out, but it is moving quickly. It's going to be a little bit tough. So I guess there is a benefit to the earlier drafting, is you're actually going to get your 150 in. It's going to be tough, but we're going to give it a shot. We're going to do one today, but let's start with a little just general discussion. And Math made a little PowerPoint for us, so I'm going to throw that up on the screen. There we go. Here's the PowerPoint. And this is you just took this is a tweet by Hayden Winks looking at where past league winners have been drafted. So do you want to explain this chart? I told you the first time I looked at it, I was like, I don't understand what this chart is saying right now. But I think you have a pretty good, and I've got a better understanding of it now. But do you want to say what your takeaway is from this chart?
Yeah, I like this tweet by Hayden. It got my gears really thinking about how to kind of tack it on the draft capital, especially with the Eliminator when we're trying to draft those high floor, high ceiling combo teams. And it kind of tells us this is just BBM data. There's nothing really with Eliminator. So people drafted, the ADPs are a little different, but for the most part, it's similar. But it's telling us, it's kind of telling us where the winners, of each position, kind of those league winners, those have to have it players are drafted. So one thing that it was, for me, a little confirmation bias on the quarterbacks. You can see, this is a 4-year, right? It's the last 4 year, 5 years, 20.
Yep.
2020 to 2024.
5 seasons. Yeah.
5 seasons. So yeah, all 5 of the BBMs. We've had 5 quarterbacks hit pretty much in the first 5 seasons. The first, really from round 2 to round 4. So that elite quarterback is powerful. This kind of shows that. We want to be drafting wide receivers early. I think everyone does that. You want to probably go more of that hero wide receiver build, as you can see, for the first, roughly 5-6 rounds. Pretty solid. But again, there's some wide receivers that stand out to me more than others. That's drafting good players on good teams, but also teams that throw the ball a lot. And then also you see is like you might want to pause your wide receiver, not keep going wide receivers throughout the whole entire draft. But kind of what I've been doing a lot this year is really hitting those other positions a lot earlier than normal, because taking those dart throws at wide receiver late. For me, it was the Keenan Allen back in the day before he moved up. But finding some other rookies that might be popping in camp now, some news, hit those news beat drums from, again, wide receivers on good teams or wide receivers tied to kind of a passing tack or a passing tack that's going to pass more than the average team. Those types of teams I'm trying to go for at the wide receiver position. And then it was interesting, like tight end to me is kind of flat. Yes, there's been some elites that done pretty well, but for the most part, you can kind of sprinkle them in on your builds kind of throughout the whole entire draft, and as long as you find the right one. And again, it's just drafting a tight end that's tied to a good offense with a good quarterback. I'm sure that's hit pretty well. And then same thing, running back. And this is the powerful thing on this slide. It's, zero RB probably isn't quite as powerful as we think it is on Underdog. It might be a little bit more on DraftKings or another platform. But if we're drafting Eliminator on Underdog, I think you want to be, and I think a lot of the rooms are that, a little bit more running back heavy to make sure you got volume. I could share some stuff with you over the week about just the volume is key to the running back position. So you want to draft those running backs that have roles, guaranteed roles on good offenses.
Yeah. And I've said it before that I feel like one thing that a lot of us did last year, myself included, is we went too far with the zero RB or not taking running backs early, where it's like basically all of your running backs have to like hit in an unexpected way, sort of. So it's like, the biggest sure things would be like, all right, we're taking Tony Pollard as our RB1 and taking like, 2 running backs that are maybe splitting the workload. And you're just giving up too many projectable points early on a lot of the time. And it's hard to recover from that. Even I think we probably had some lineups where it's like you hit on the, the Chase Brown, the Bucky Irving as one of your running backs, but like that one hit doesn't make up for being way behind in early weeks. So yeah, that's definitely a takeaway that I have had this year. A chart like this, it's I like your takeaway of elite quarterbacks in the Eliminator in particular. That's been something that I've been really focused on. I feel like the true elites just and if you look at the point separations for the elites, just like fantasy points over the course of a season, it'll be like 200 between like the top quarterback and the quarterback 13, whereas the wide receivers going in the same range, say a T Higgins or whatever, they're scoring 200 points total. So like they're really not separating from those wide receivers in the same way. So I think it can be pretty powerful. Love that takeaway. Obviously when you look at something like this, you always have to keep in mind this is only 5 slates of data. So like and it's also a factor of the drafting landscape. So we have to think about like, has the drafting landscape changed enough this year versus past years where this data is gonna look different next year, this year. So we do have to like keep that in mind. But yeah, I think that I like some of your takeaways from this data. I think are the correct takeaways. So one thing that I'm doing a lot more in the Eliminator, where I'm just trying to score points early and often, is really no zero RB in the Eliminator in particular. I still do it some in like Best Ball Mania, right? But because in the Eliminator, you need to be scoring those points early and often. You can't like make up points later on because you need to be beating teams starting in week 1. Are you drafting a lot more quarterbacks early in general? I mean, you referred to hero wide receiver, which is not a term that people use all that often, but I think that it's kind of been my approach to the Eliminator also. Is that you think your most common build?
Yeah, it's grabbing a wide receiver early, and they're going to be my anchor. They're going to be the ones that kind of get me to the promised land. Bidding on that, and then really just hitting the quarterback, running back, tight end. Not like elite per se on the tight end, but definitely quarterback. Trying to get through. 3 running backs, pretty early. I think even before the Brian Robinson Jr., Tony Pollard, Mason range, even trying to before that. I've been doing a lot like where Alvin Kamara is, or a rookie in Henderson, but probably not anymore since he's going to move up so fast, are like my running back threes.
Yeah, I do a lot of the same thing. What about bye weeks? So I think it's always been a pretty big lever that I pull in Eliminators is making sure that I'm not taking too many of the same bye week early on. I did think, we Pete Overzet came out with his Eliminator contest, and my favorite takeaway from it, which I think was everybody's favorite takeaway from it, was the drafting taking late bye weeks is more powerful this year than it's ever been in this contest, because unlike most contests where I'm only thinking about like how do I win this contest, there's a little bit more of the just EV, and like you can get capture EV by drafting those later bye weeks, even if you're not setting yourself up necessarily to have a better shot at winning. What is your takeaway with bye weeks in general?
Yeah, same thing. Try not to have too many overlying bye weeks early in the draft, and then as the draft goes out, I'm trying to do a little bit more team building, correlation. Just getting that kind of the powerful boost. If that one game environment goes off in that week, I can capture a lot of the points again, because early in the season scoring is down. So I think having more team oriented approach in your draft and your draft capital, it can be helpful to get us to advance each and every round versus trying to hit like an 18 leg parlay each week. Try to have that high floor, high ceiling combination. So, having those similar to what I'm doing in BBM and scoring the most points, is kind of like a max 3 team bets, and drafting 2 to 3. I don't want to do an onslaught where I'm getting like 5 guys from one team, but 2 to 3 on the teams that are going to score the most points, and that do really well in my purity score. So I've been trying to really highlight that, and then also attack different angles with like inside division. I think the NFC South is going to be every game could shoot out and hit the over, because all the defenses are pretty bad and the offenses I think can score pretty good. So I'm really trying to leverage the schedule as well in a contest like the Eliminator.
Yeah, and I think that's probably something that's a little bit underrated. It's also like hard to look at it year over year. I don't think people have looked at it year over year. Like, how does the schedule play into it? I really like that idea. It's not something that I've ever done, in part because like it takes an extra level of like preparation, like thinking about like the schedules. What do the schedules look like? So yeah, I really like that idea also. Stacking is one of those things that I really struggle with in this contest. But I think that your takeaway is similar to mine, of like you should probably stack some because you don't want to have to do the 18 leg parlay, but like don't overstack, because at some point you're just having too many on the same buy and the team can totally fall apart. I like that. I have another question though that just came up. So we just got a tweet came through. Brandon Ayuk looking like he's probably shooting for around a week 6 return. What are you doing? What are you doing with those players? The Brandon Ayuk, Quinshawn Judkins, trying to think of like players that are probably not going to be ready to start the year. Are they just complete? Are you Xing them out completely? Is there a point at which you're willing to take a Brandon Ayuk or maybe Chris Godwin's a good example, because we don't know for sure if he's going to be there. Matt Stafford. What are you doing with the question mark players?
Pushing them. I'll push them. If they fall like a round or 2 past ADP, then maybe, and I feel pretty comfortable and confident in my being able to cover them with another player. I will take them, but I'm not going to take them at cost. I'm gonna push them. I'm going to see how far they can fall in each room. Okay, good. Same page there. What's going on, Nelly? Any other notes from this schedule page, or is this like, I guess you kind of talked about already some of your favorites? So I kind of added a lot of DST. I talked about it a little bit last week. I kind of fumbled around a little bit, but that NFC South I think is going to have a lot of shootouts. So the AFC East plays the NFC South. So, I definitely the running attack and through the air. So like a team like the Bills, they're the number 1 in my purity score. So if I can like have Bills with Bucks, Atlanta, Carolina, all those, like those, I have like 2 or 3 of each player kind of on those teams, I think it'd be a very, very strong build in the Eliminator. And as you can see, the bye weeks are all kind of mixed up, have overlapping buys. So like trying to build like one of those, have one of these like in your Eliminator portfolio could be very strong. You might like that, come mid-season when you're actually really trying to track how you're doing in this context. Absolutely. So some of the oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask, do you have any other things you want to talk about before we get into a draft? I mean, you can keep going if you have more thoughts.
Yeah, I think that the past funnels were interesting to me when I was really doing a dig dive into kind of, again, this is just rankings. This is the big sites, the Sharp Football Analysis, looking at what they're thinking, how these defenses are going to look for us. So like the AFC South is really bad. They have like, I want to say they had, out of the 4 teams, I think they all were like top 12 and really bad pass defense. Their secondaries were really, really bad. So a couple injuries there, they could be looking really, really bad. And the injuries are going to happen. Same thing, kind of the NFC South, or the NFC South was pretty bad. The AFC South as well, other than Houston, and the NFC East, other than Philly, were pretty bad. So kind of like getting quarterback play, getting wide receiver play against those guys, I thought would be interesting to kind of target. And the same thing with that rush funnel with the NFC South and the AFC South, other than Houston on the AFC South. Houston has probably one of the best overall defenses in the NFL. So kind of targeting that. And I thought one thing that would be interesting is looking at those kind of interconference plays that who attacks. So who plays the NFC South is the NFC West. So looking at Purdy, looking at kind of those NFC West quarterbacks to try to line up against those defenses kind of throughout will help kind of that high floor with ceiling potential when you get those game environments. And typically these interdivision games happen early in the season, not late. Late in the season is when they start going more head to head inside their own conference. So again, it could be a good advance rate with those outside division teams where there's not a lot of familiarity between the players, the coaching staff. They don't really pay quite as attention as when they do play inside conference. So those games seem to shoot out a little bit more. So I'm trying to do that a little bit. It's hard to do in practice, but it's something that I'm really trying to focus on. Like today I did one when I was really just hitting the NFC South quite a bit, and I was trying to get it with the Bills. And I thought the Bills or even the Patriots or the Jets or the Dolphins, just to try to see if I can maximize on some of those crazy game environments that might happen.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, it's harder to do with the because you have to count for 17 weeks, so it's harder in like this type of contest than like even regular BBM, where it's just like your real focus is on those final 3 weeks. Now it's like, which weeks are you trying to win? And it's like, yeah, you want the early loaded. I don't know. It's a tougher equation, but definitely something worth thinking about in a contest like this. What's up, Nelly? Alex asks, do you think Judkins actually plays this year? I mean, we don't know any more than anybody else does. I'd still say greater than 50% chance he plays at some point this year. I have been drafting as though he's not going to play this year, but that's more because I like that bet better, like the what do you win when you win of that bet. But I think it's probably greater than 50% chance he plays at some point. But I don't think we have any more insight than anybody else there.
Nope.
Mr. Grapefruit asked, have you guys been taking RB heavy starts for builds to avoid the Kyron / Kenneth Walker / Pollard Pacheco ADP price jumps? I mean, I was already doing a lot of RB heavy in the Eliminator before those price jumps. I'm personally buying the price jump, so I'm still getting like Pacheco at pick 60, whatever, or Pollard at pick 60. I'm just willing to take those projectable points. Are you still buying these guys as they move up, Math, or are you like I'm going to hold off and that's where I'm going to be getting your stud wide receiver? What are you doing there?
Yeah, it's all depends on who's on the board at that time. But yeah, I like breaking ties. I'm breaking it towards the running back. I do not want to be left with my pants around my ankles and wish casting an RB2 that maybe it's going to maybe get 40% of the snaps, you know, early in the season. Like, so some of these rookie running backs, you know, they usually come on a little bit later and you could get eliminated by the time they actually are soaring. So I kind of want, again, when it comes to running back, I want the for sure volume. Like to me, Kamara, I think does a super strong pick. You know, super strong.
Yeah, those running backs that I sometimes talk about, like that type of running back, like Kamara's age. So it's Kamara, Connor, Mixon, McCaffrey, like the year 9 or whatever they are. I'm like trying to be underweight to the field on them in BBM, and they're like huge targets for me in this contest. Like James Conner, even like Kyron is not really part of that, but like Kamara, a lot of the running backs around that kind of age cliff, I think are really good in this format because they're at least we can count on the volume early in the year, I think. So I'm with you. I like Kamara quite a bit here. I like Connor. A lot of those running backs are pretty big targets for me.
Yeah, it's a survive and advance contest. You want to survive and advance. I've even, really starting to look at week 1 already, looking at game totals a little bit and, kind of building that in early just to getting that top 6 that first week. And then you never know. It's kind of pod luck from there on out. And you could just get in some easy matchups where you can sneak by with a low score and have that kind of different build. As it's going to progress on, you're going to see that very similar construction, similar team player archetypes on each build. You're going to have the Chase Browns, the Jamar Chase of last year, the guys that you had to have to go far.
Yep.
So if you can be a little bit different, will help.
Anything else before you want, or do you want to get into a draft now? What are you thinking?
Yeah, whatever if you want to jump in now, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. What's up? Glad you're here with us, W for Omega. What's the lowest score you've seen someone advance with? In past years, it's been lower because this year it's 50 to advance every round. Whereas in the past, it was like 80% of teams most weeks would advance. So back then, like you didn't even need 100 points to advance, which maybe will happen again this year, but it's going to be a little bit tougher, I think, with the 50 to advance. All right, I'm going to pull up the screen.
Yeah, so I mean, you want to build high floor, high ceiling teams.
Yeah. All right, let's see. I'm going to remove that. 1 second here. Share my screen. There we go. All right, getting into an eliminator. If you want to join with us, 20-second clock. Come on in. Almost full. And I'm going to get rid of the sidekick for this one because I want to hear Math's thoughts on how to approach it. So we're in the 11 spot, which not my favorite spot, but it's fine, I think. Do you have a preferred spot in the eliminator, Math?
Yeah, earlier, mid. I think, a lot of flexibility, that 4 through 8. But yeah, we'll see what the room gives us, or if we gotta force it. Anytime I'm kind of bookend like that, I'll just start reaching ahead of AVP just to get the guys we want.
Yeah. Got Candyman in here in the 1 hole, fully loaded is here. A lot of familiar names in this one.
Nice.
Should be a good one. Killer Bees in here. Mr. Good Cat. All right. Nice. Let's get going.
Yeah, that's new news to me in Ayuk. That's kind of a bummer on the BBM portfolio, but
all right. Crusher says, by the way, the code is way worse in week 6. Ayuk off his board. Could be week 10 or week 5, but that's what I'm starting to think about it. Yeah, that's not great. I just saw the Underdog tweet that said week 6 is okay. That's bad.
That's more CMC and Ricky and Kittle and Jennings. If they gotta get Jennings happy.
I think he's probably going to play. Like he's not even like holding in, right? He's still practicing and stuff. So
yeah, they're saying calf a little bit.
Oh, right. I forgot. Yeah, that's right.
But we'll see how it goes. But again, they're a very high team in my purity score. The easy schedule, decent O-line. They play. Their defense isn't going to be top notch, so they're going to have to score points to win games. So definitely.
We haven't talked about how how the Chargers with Slater being out for the year. How does that affect your purity score? Have you adjusted at all for that?
I did. It knocked them down about 5 or 6 spots, so they're kind of more in the middle of the road. Versus they were top 6, now they're like 12.
Okay.
So I'm still grabbing the Chargers because I don't want to drop them that far just off one bad O-line. He went all the way down to 25. Pat Thorman did.
Yeah, I saw that.
Run.
Yep.
No one else has updated yet, so I'm kind of waiting to see what other graders think for their O-line is. But I do like their schedule quite a bit. I think they're going to be able to score some points this year. I just hope that it condenses down. They've historically been a non kind of like spread it out. A lot of people get catches, but I'm hoping they can be kind of condensed down with Ladd and Keenan and maybe just 2 RBs. Hopefully there's no tight ends that are getting a bunch of targets.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And then just like, prayer yards by a rookie wide receiver.
All right. Who do you like here? So we're in the 11 hole. Achan's there, Genty's there, or Puka.
Yeah. Let's go Achan. Let's get that. Let's lock up that.
Nice. And then we'll be back on the clock momentarily. At least the first 2 rounds, it's a nice spot to be here.
Yeah. Sometimes Achan's off the board even by now. I've seen it in some of my rooms. So it's nice being able to get that at least.
Yep. All right. Do you have a wide receiver you like here? Who do you like to go with here? Puka, Drake London, BTJ.
Yeah, let's do Puka. Let's slurp it.
Yep. Slurping value also probably generally a good idea in the Eliminator, I would think.
Yeah. These are the times where people get overly cautious, or also they believe in the news that we're hearing. A time like last year, this is exact same time where there's some FUD that came out last year regarding Jaden Daniels. He had a couple bad practices. He didn't play well that first preseason game. I picked him up a round past ADP last year, and he was on that team that scored me all those points because it just taking advantage of bad news, people overreacting or double counting.
Yep.
Right now. So that's kind of the fun part of this time of year to always be drafting, because you don't know what kind of room you're in with people with news. Sometimes it's very stale and nothing happens, or sometimes you can find crazy value. So.
How good are you feeling about your Keenan Allen value, by the way, right now? Because I've been chasing him up boards, and I know you said that there's like a limit to how much you're going to chase him because you've already packed your bags. You got to be feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, I do. I just hope I hope that he's average. 606. Just hit my lineup, because that's all I'm trying to do in that 17th, 18th round. Just not get those zeros. Just have. If he can be like a wide receiver 5 at that value that I got him at, again, it could be an extremely high advance rate piece. I don't think he's going to win me a pod, but I think he's going to push a lot of teams to the pod, and that was the play.
Yep. Yeah. It seems like a pretty strong bet there.
Yeah.
And all of my early getting awesome values were getting Daniels and Terry McLaurin too late, and I was so excited about it. And now they're going so much later. Like it's like that advantage is gone on those. Very, very sad for me to see. All right, Allen, Lamar Jackson both go. Lamar and Hampton, he's been going actually earlier here than he does in BBM. In general is what I'm seeing. He goes at like the 2-3 turn.
Yeah, again, people are wide receiver hungry in an Eliminator. They're trying to scoop up and just get projected volume on their teams, which is smart.
Yeah.
I think it's the right way to play it. So you got to kind of hold serve early, but also there's archetypes that we may like that might be available to us a little bit later.
Yep.
And that's kind of drafting those RB2s on good teams like Ray Davis. He's a big one for me in this contest.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Kittle goes. We are almost up on the clock again. So let's take a look at the players available. I'm going to sort by ADP here.
So is that James Cook potentially?
James Cook is there. Jalen Hurts, if you want to go elite quarterback in this one. Chuba Hubbard.
Let's go with James Cook.
I do like that he has the week 7 bye too. Just it's one of the buys that only has 2 teams on it. Yeah,
our buys are nice. 12, 8, and 7 right now. Yep. I like the AFC East playing the NFC South early in the season. Now, is Hurts gonna make it to us here? Is going to be the question.
Yeah,
no,
he does not. All right. Got a lot of week 8 buys here, which we could eat, or we could go with Hubbard.
Let's bring up Kamara.
Oh yeah, why not?
Let's do that.
There you go. Strong enough. Would have loved to get Hurts there.
Yeah, me too. It was worth a shot. I don't know. Maybe we could have went Hurts, and then maybe Cook was I doubt it.
Probably not. He probably was not going to be there. Yeah, I think it was worth the gamble. Hertzko was a little bit ahead of ADP in this one.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I also, we talked a little bit about stacking, but like with a quarterback, so say Burrow comes back around to us, are you willing to take Burrow on this team where you don't have any of his pass catchers, or are you not really interested in doing that here?
It would be a preference. But again, if he does fall kind of past ADP in a contest like this, when you're just looking for a high floor, Burrow is definitely one of those guys. So I would take on Stack Burrow in the Eliminator.
Yeah, me too. I've done it several times. So a lot of the times when I'm drafting with this, I at least have the sidekick open, and it is a Sims tool. So I will say, a lot of the things that you're factoring in, where it is like, what are going to be the team totals? Which teams are going to like have, team totals that line up, that kind of stuff in different weeks, who's going to be able to score early on. I would imagine the Sims take that into account better than like I can on my own typically. And it does give me some of that, like Burrow, even when I already have an elite quarterback, it'll sometimes give me Burrow at like pick 60, which I think is pretty telling about how powerful those points, just raw points, can be.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think using, real-time assistance is very important and powerful. I do it with Easy Sheet. I got Easy Sheet off to the side right now. It's just kind of just tracking it for bye weeks, and also just making sure I'm keeping up on our team.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I mean, right now we're scoring about 51 points with our 3 running backs and a wide receiver projected.
Like per week on average, or what does that mean? Or week one? Okay.
Yeah. No, not week one. Just kind of average a week.
Okay.
Again, I'm kind of shooting for that 130 score.
Okay. That's what 130 through like 8 players, right? Is that how many you start?
Well, it's through 18.
Okay. Oh, I see.
So it's kind of a correlated kind of PPG, points per game.
Interesting. Okay, that's cool.
That he has, yeah. So it's a way to help build kind of strong, high floor, high ceiling teams.
Nice.
It's just a basic spreadsheet. It's nothing too crazy, but it's nice. You can kind of flex it the way you want to, or IKB it the way you want to.
Yeah, just a check against what you're doing.
Yeah, kind of helps navigate what we're gonna do. And in a contest like the Eliminator, I don't mind throwing ADP out the window a little bit earlier than normal. Just because we're going to get wiped, especially where we are in the ends, we're going to get wiped out probably a running back. So that's why I wanted to reach there, because I think we're going to like some wide receivers that come back to us. And saying that Puka is going to be our hero wide receiver, like, it could happen. I mean, Matt Harmon thinks he is an elite wide receiver.
We're on the clock here. So Calvin Ridley's there, Jalen Waddle, DeAndre Swift, Isaiah Pacheco is there.
Let's go Ridley. What's the buy on Ridley?
10. So yeah, we don't have a bye week 10 yet, so that's good.
Do Ridley. He's Cam's looking good, and he's gonna be the number one there. So again, that's another guy that can outproduce his ADP.
Yep.
If it hits. So and again, the AFC South, other than Houston, is pretty weak.
All right, so we got Travis Hunter, Isaiah Pacheco, David Montgomery, this by ADP, yeah. Stephon Diggs, anybody? Ricky Pearsall, do you want to take advantage of that?
We could do Pearsall or Mbuka.
Let's go Pearsall just because of the
Yep.
Right? Does that work for you? Okay.
Yep.
Just because I think he's probably going to continue rising with the Ayuk timeline. Yep. And week 14 bye, which we talked about as being kind of a powerful thing. But yeah, Igbuka is nice because he has the week 9 bye. But I guess there are 4 teams, I think, on week 9, so it's not that uncommon. But we don't have any yet. Yeah.
The only reason why I said Mbuka, as we're just building out that NFC South, to like be a Mbuka Baker stack, and then they're going to play Miami, they're going to play Buffalo, they're going to play Kamara twice. So there's nice. favorable game environments kind of early in the season. That might go off and be that good advanced piece each week for us.
Okay, so just for our specific team, it's not like he's always a target for you, but for the team that we're building right here. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Gotcha. Yeah.
Nice.
Now, again, Tampa Bay right now, they're in my purity score. Tampa Bay's second overall. It goes Bills, Bucks.
Okay.
1-2.
Wow.
Yeah. The Bucks, I think, are going to be Baker doubles in the daily games. Baker doubles someone's going to go to the dog bowl because of a Baker double early in the season.
Are you doing any Godwin in best ball or the Eliminator, or is he? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm again until we don't know yet, until more information comes out. But I believe in the talent. The guy works his ass off. I think he'll be. I mean, what he came back from last year was pretty impressive. Hopefully he can do it again. And the fact that he, didn't cash out to go with the Pats, like people were throwing ungodly money at him, but he just wanted to be in Tampa.
Yeah, he's a gamer.
He's a gamer. Yeah. No, I like that turn. I think we're set up really nice with those the 3v3 we got.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty strong start. I like to have an elite quarterback by now, but you can't get him in every. It's harder on this end of the. On the other end, it's pretty easy to get an elite quarterback. Here, it's I guess we could have gotten Hurts, but no, I think this is a strong team.
Yeah, and I think we try to definitely get Purdy. I think it needs to be a priority for us and not try to push it. Just get it, just lock it in.
At this point, I think pretty clearly at least a 3 quarterback team. Sometimes I'll even do 4.
I like stacking up your wide receiver ones. So getting Cam with Calvin would be nice. Maybe with all the Stafford news, he could be that one guy that we could be a luxury pick and we get Stafford way past ADP.
Yeah.
And then maybe he comes back. Not as bad as they say it is. But
all right, we are on the clock. By ADP is Jordan Mason, Jaden Reed, Josh Downs, TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, probably that running back. I like the Vikings. They got a good schedule. They're gonna run the ball. Good O-line. I think having just that 4th one is going to be nice.
You'll see one thing if you look at my rankings. One thing that I do a lot is just pull up Justin Fields, just because I think he could be, the quarterback. When I don't get to the quarterback, sometimes I lean on him. We don't have to do that. Is there TJ Hawkinson, Jalen Warren, J.K. Dobbins? Who do you like here?
I think we get our quarterback because we're not going to get one back. So yeah, either Fields or Purdy for me. Probably Purdy.
Oh God, where's Purdy? If I can find him. I did not find him. Where's?
Maybe we'll get him.
Oh yeah.
He's way down. He's probably like 1-0 something.
Yeah.
Fields.
Huh. I think I just missed him because he's right by some other quarterbacks that I saw. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we might get him. We might get him back.
Yeah. No, right. Fields again. Which is nice about Fields is we're betting against the NFC South. And Fields plays them this year as well. So
nice.
So we got a lot of AFC East teams against the NFC South. So even those AFC East against each other. So hopefully there's some shootouts between the Jets, the Bills, the Jets, the Dolphins. The Dolphins, hopefully our defense isn't very good. It doesn't look like their back half is going to be very good. So hopefully Fields can have a banner day against them. I don't know when they play, but hopefully it's early in the season.
Yep. Crutches says people usually don't let the injured or suspended guys fall enough in this, so I just avoid basically always. Mine is mixing at like 120 because Chancey's just fine. That's kind of my approach too. I think I pretty rarely take the guys they're going to miss early. Like Mixon, good example. If Addison falls enough and I'm strong at wide receiver, then maybe I'll take him. But yeah, in general, like particularly the injured guys, because it's like we don't know even after they come back, are they going to need to ramp up? How much are they going to need to ramp up? So yeah, I'm generally the same page there.
Yeah, me too.
What's going on? How do you feel about rookies in this? So that's one thing that's like, a lot of the rookies that we like to take shots on are guys that we think in like BBM are guys that are not really going to come on until the second half of the year. Are you generally averse to taking them, or is it more like you have to wait, hope that they fall more than they do in BBM? What's your approach there?
Yeah, most of the time, like the rookies that are going early, I'm okay with. The rookies that we're wish casting late in the draft, I'm not even bothering with it.
Okay.
Like Genty's fine.
Hampton's
fine.
McMillan, Tetaroa.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're going to be fine because they're the alphas coming in. There's not much competition. I'm kind of treating Mbuka a little bit that way. I think with the injuries and so, I think he's going to see a lot of playing time. I think he's going to be pretty good.
What about Jaden Higgins? He's a good example of like, I don't know what, like I generally treat him as somebody who's going to score points early on, but I think more later. I guess I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, so he usually goes right where I'm trying to get those quarterbacks.
Okay, yeah.
Right in. So it's like I'm not really taking that a lot as I'm trying to really get those two quarterbacks in the window. You know, for this one will be hopefully be 3 if they don't all get scooped up on us on this turn here. Looks like 1, 2, only 3 have gone so far. So
yeah, we should still have some pretty good ones available. When you say the window, Purdy goes, that's a bummer. When you say the window, like what is kind of the range you're looking for? Like where is the window for you?
It's like right now, like Patrick Mahomes all the way down to like JJ McCarthy, even Penix probably.
Okay.
Nice. You know, I'm starting to push it further into like Cam, Stafford a little bit as you know, if it's stacked up like this, it opens it up. But you know, I'm trying to grab 1 elite with two in the window. I'm not trying to mess around with a lot of back stacks if I can't, because again, that's one thing that map kind of showed us with we're on
the clock. Drake May went. We could go Dak Prescott, Caleb Williams. This is by ADP.
Let's go Dak.
It does take away the week 10 Cam, but we can still take
fine. That's fine. We're making
also
money.
A later buy. Yeah.
If we make it to 10, we're making money. So
true. We're making good money there. Yeah.
So Dak opens up Ferguson, turn up late. I would like to try to get a wide receiver here. If we could. We got Cup.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see the names.
Cup, Shaheed, Darnell Mooney. All right.
Let's go Kirk. Christian Kirk.
Okay. We might be able to push it, so I'm just going to pull up the other name just in case you see anybody else. But yeah, I'm happy to just take Kirk here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Is Tyjae Spears now a guy that you're going to avoid in this contest?
I never avoid anyone at all. It's all based on price. You know, if he falls, so you know, if he falls around past. Again, a high ankle sprain's a bummer. But he's a gamer. He has that spike week potential, as he showed last year. I'm sorry. They like him, so he could get back in time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take him at cost right now. I'll push him around and click him there, but I'm not going to X out any player in the player pool, especially someone with his talent on an offense that I kind of like to score some points this year.
Christian Kirk in the Eliminator, but slot demon in BBM. Chris Mazzone says, we got Christian Kirk here.
Yeah. I like it just because it might open up CJ Stroud for us as well. It's kind of one of the reasons why I did it.
Yep.
But again, so Houston's defense is really good. Their offensive line stinks. I really think they're going to have to score through the air, and I think he's going to be a big part. Nico's going to get bracket coverage. He's going to have a lot of one-on-one, a lot of options in the middle of the field. I can see him being a pretty good value at it where he's going right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's going.
Even though we brought him up to 110, you know, that's probably higher than he normally goes, but
yeah. Yeah, no, I think Kirk pretty strong. I mean, the other thing is, like, would you take Stroud here if we did not have Kirk? Like, is he another one that you're like, probably not going to take him unstacked in the Eliminator, or sorry, in BBM, but maybe in the Eliminator could be okay?
I'd rather have him. Someone like him, I'd rather have stacked.
Me too. He's not doing much on the ground.
No, yeah. You know, these pocket passers in half point PPR isn't as strong as with a 300-point bonus on DraftKings. So it's definitely more of a DraftKings play for me. Stroud
Yeah.
would be.
Yep.
Yeah.
If Stroud is not available here, I mean, do you want to go like a Penix? Do you want to go with a different quarterback here, or hold off on QB3?
With Dak in Fields, it's a pretty good combo. But we'll see what we got. Because I think Stafford still, I don't mind Stafford with Puka. We're betting on Puka to have a good season, so that's going to be tied with Stafford.
Do you want to go Ferguson here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's get that tight end one stacked up. Strong correlation between your quarterback and your tight end points together.
All right. I threw Luther Burden and Keenan Allen into the queue, but if there are other players that you like here, this is sort of by ADP.
Yeah, what's available? It's just Spears right now and Kincaid.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do Keenan Allen. I don't think Luther Burden is going to do much for the first five weeks. Probably he's more of a BBM play that you're trying to hold, and then he boosts your team late. So it's a kind of a different contest play, I think.
Yep. No, I think Keenan Allen is an eliminator aspect if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. Yeah, he's always open. Catches everything.
Yeah. RGT wants to know if you play any DK best ball.
I haven't yet. My role is over on Underdog, so I've been kind of staying over there. I've been kind of thinking about it a little bit more with their promos.
Next week, so best ball week on DraftKings is going to be next week. Math and I are going to be doing this stream in the evening. I'm going to the Fantasy Baseball World Championship next week in Boston as a guest, and I'll be getting back in the evening on Monday. So we're going to do this stream at I think 8:30 Eastern or something like that on Monday evening. But that'll be we'll do a DraftKings best ball week, so we can get your thoughts on a different contest there.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm gonna dig deep in the ADPs there and see if I can have an outsider look to see what you guys have been doing all season, to see if there's what are you guys doing?
It's fun. No, it is, in my opinion, much more fun drafting there than like a typical draft on Underdog, because it's chaotic. It's just you never know what's going to happen room to room. You can just get players really late. Bashal Tutin's ADP 160 something on DraftKings. It's just it's totally different landscape.
Yeah. Yeah, I was seeing it today on X, people complaining quite a bit of what would you rather have, a room full of badges or a room full of non-badges, just because of it's hard to stack and stuff like that. And
yeah,
I kind of woke up angry saying, screw that. It's go get your guy season. Just make a plan and go get it. Kind of what we're doing in this one. We're flexible, but we're building a very strong team right now. Yeah.
No, we've gotten sniped a few times. It's been kind of a bummer in that regard. But we're still building out a good team. Doesn't matter. We can adjust to the room.
Exactly. No excuses. Play like a champion.
That's right. A little bit of a quarterback run here. Penix. I guess it's kind of expected though. Penix, Young, Geno, Ward. This is all kind of in the range you expect them to go.
Yeah, I think we take the shot at Stafford. Coming around long as he doesn't get sniped. He's a gamer. Once the season matters, I think you're going to see him.
Yeah, we've got Puka. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yep, that makes sense.
We got Puka. We took him. He's our hero wide receiver in this field. We need Puka to get in the end zone. No more 20-20 and everybody steals the touchdowns from him. If we have that touchdown ceiling season from him, this lineup cooks right now.
I mean,
cooks.
The issue is Devontae Adams is so good. I still I'm obviously hopeful. I'm drafting a lot of Puka.
Right.
But yeah, that's the one that's man, Devontae Adams so good in the red zone.
So good.
Could just continue.
Yeah, and Puka's probably going to get a little bit more of the defense of trying to take him away, but hopefully they see the value, and give Puka some opportunity to kind of be their alpha, and Adams is a little bit more of a secondary option. But
I've got Stafford queued up. Just want to make sure there's nobody else you'd rather.
Yeah, we're good. I think it is more important not to get sniped.
Yep.
On our team.
All right, we'll make our next pick, and then I'll read it off. We can think about how we want to finish the team.
Yeah, running back would be nice. Who do we got available?
Najee, Nick Chubb, Quinshon Judkins, Rico Dowdle, Jalen Wright, Miles Sanders, Woody Marks. That might be the stronger. Wright, Dowdle, Sanders. Anybody? Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt.
Yeah, no, not the Washington guy for sure. Let's do Wright.
Sorry.
Oh no, let's do Nat.
Dowdle.
We
already got Dowdle. Yeah.
Sorry.
20-second clocks here. Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, Dowdle. I think it makes sense on this team. Do we have?
Yeah, he does.
That much week 14. Yeah.
No, he does too. Again, and NFC South is nice.
Yeah. Fits a team here. All right. So let me read off the team we have now so we can think about what. So we're at 3-5-5-1. We've got Justin Fields, Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, Devin Achane, James Cook, Alvin Kamara, Jordan Mason, Rico Dowdle, Puka Nacua, Kelvin Ridley, Ricky Pearsall, Christian Kirk, Keenan Allen, and Jake Ferguson is the team so far. So we want at least one more tight end, probably 2 more receivers, I would think.
Yeah.
And
I'm pretty comfortable with our running back room at 5.
Yeah, it's a strong one.
And I like to take some dart throws at tight end and wide receiver probably throughout here.
Yep. And tight ends, you'll often see, like, so if you use the Sims, they'll often give you tight ends late because they just project better than some of the dart throws you're often taking later on. So yeah, I like that.
How's the calf feeling, Neil? You getting healthy?
I'm getting healthier. They say like you get to a point where you think you can start running again and you shouldn't. I think I'm not quite there. Like it doesn't feel perfect yet. So it's still, I don't feel like I should be running, but I think I'm getting close to the point where if I had not read that, I would be tempted to try. So I'm like, I'm going to give it a little bit longer, but it's definitely feeling better every day.
Good. How's the softball team? You guys win the championship?
Well, so I was out, lost the championship last week. Yeah, it was brutal. It was, and I was out, but so were our 2 best players. So like, I think I told you that. Like, not the biggest deal that I'm out there. We've got, another guy who can pitch just fine, replace me. There's no issue there. But then we were missing our 2 best fielders, and they might be our best fielders and our best batters, or close to it. So yeah.
Always next time.
Always, yeah. Next year we'll come back a little bit older, a little bit wiser. Funny, the team that beat us actually has their pitcher is, I would guess he's like 60. Like he's probably the oldest guy in the league. Most of the team is actually not that old. I would guess like on average, my team might actually be older, but it was the other veteran team that beat us.
Yeah, salty vets, man.
Yeah,
wise and savvy.
Exactly. Got a lot of experience.
Matthew Stafford. Got to pound all the slappies right now.
I wonder if he's going to keep falling after like today showing the Airstream that he's getting treated in.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you can get him at a screaming value right now.
Yeah. But good that we locked it in.
Yeah, I think so. This team makes a ton of sense. But yeah, let's like Mason Olsen or Taylor Olsen. I'm sorry.
Mason Taylor,
sorry.
Yeah. It's like, which one are you saying here? Okay.
I got a lot of different names in my head.
He also might miss time, by the way. So there is he has a high ankle, but so I've got him queued up. I guess we have him stacked. So
yeah, exactly. It's more of like, I think he could be pretty high up in the pecking order once he gets activated.
Yeah.
And then do we have Chig? Is Chig out there or
Chig is there?
Sanders.
Jonnu Smith is there. Kate Otten.
I don't mind Jonnu Smith. What's the bye like?
Jonnu's bye week 5, which we don't have any bye week 5 so far.
Yeah, I could see them using Jonnu quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I also don't hate Kate Otten. I kind of think he's a strong.
Yeah, spillover.
Yeah,
he's a spillover with a lot of good wide receivers.
But is Jonnu your top option or?
Yeah, I think Jonnu has a little bit more upside than Kate. I think Kate's going to need some injuries.
Yeah,
he's definitely down the pecking order when the other guys aren't open. But with Mbuka there, I worry he's going to be open quite a bit.
Yep.
He just seems like that young stud that's just going to kind of take over.
For sure. Let's see. I think the Allen signing really raised Herbert's ceiling games. Have you guys given Herbert a bump or a slight dip due to? I think the Rashawn Slater, being out for the year probably hurts more than the Keenan Allen signing helps. Would you agree with that? Or I don't know. I actually have not really moved Justin Herbert personally. I think I've still got him kind of in the same range I always have. Partially because I'm always like, well, I can backstack him so many ways now, because it's like I want Keenan Allen, but if Keenan Allen's not there, usually QJ or Trey Harris is. So it's like it's easy to backstack him. What are you doing with Justin Herbert?
Yeah, that signing, other than right after that they lost their best offensive lineman. Or arguably their best offensive lineman. So that hurts the overall offense just a little bit. I just think like Keenan Allen's going to be just a chain mover for them. He's not going to get the explosives like Ladd will and Amari and Hampton will. But it's just he's going to keep them on the field longer. Their drives are going to be longer. They're going to potentially score more points. So I think it is a slight boost, but not like it's crazy, because he was going with right around just a primo spot with all the quarterbacks, with Love and Dak and Purdy and all those. They're all just really good clicks. So it's all based on your build and what you've done early in the draft.
Right.
If you get locked out and you need to make a backstack, get him, reach for him and get him.
Yep. Copy paste state says Pat Bryant going before Thielen in the Eliminator. This game is beatable. I think that's probably I'd go Thielen there, but what do you think of so Alexander Madison's out for the year? Are you giving any kind of bump to Ollie Gordon or Jalen Wright or anybody else on Miami?
I think it's really Achane's going to take the bulk of the load like last year. If anything happens to them, but like in our build, what we got going right now, I would say no, because we want Achane playing every single game.
Right.
But if you're running back thirsty this late in the draft, it's probably worth a dart throw, because the way that Miami really prioritizes the run game. They have usually a really good rushing attack. It's just based on how well that O-line can play. If they're healthy and they can stay healthy, they're middle of the road. If they have a couple injuries, and they're going to be like last year, where they just don't have the time to throw and they can't open up any holes.
So we're back on the clock now. I think probably 2 wide receivers is what we want. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So here's the wide receiver. Jack Besh is there. Kelvin Austin.
I don't
Josh
mind
Reynolds
Besh. I like Josh Reynolds. I don't mind Besh. Matt Harmon's pretty high on Besh. I think he's pretty good at rating.
All right.
I kind of like, and then grabbing either Tutu Atwell or Reynolds.
Oh yeah, Tutu Atwell's another good one. Where is Atwell? Let's take a look at bye weeks. We have 2 week 8 buys already and no week 9. Would that be, do you have a preference between these two?
Not at this point. I think we're well diversified on the buys. I think it's all about what kind of team. Do we want to be on the Ram side or do we want to be on the Jet side?
Let's go Ram side.
Okay, let's go. Yeah.
All right. I mean, it was pretty big toss up there for me. I think you go either one. I just think Rams probably more passing volume.
Yeah.
So the final team there is Justin Fields, Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford at quarterback. All have different bye weeks. Devin Achane, James Cook, Alvin Kamara, Jordan Mason, Rico Dowdle all have different bye weeks at running back. Wide receivers Puka Nacua, Calvin Ridley, Ricky Pearsall, Christian Kirk, Keenan Allen, Jack Besh, and Tutu Atwell. Tight ends Jake Ferguson, Mason Taylor, and Jonnu Smith. And at wide receiver, so we have 3 week 8 buys, but then we don't have any week 8 buys at running back or tight ends. We can cover the flex pretty well there. I feel good about the team. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, it grades out to about 123.5 points.
We failed. We
didn't quite get to 130 on this one. But again, this is based on projection. Projections definitely can be wrong. It's more, signal. But again, 123 points a week. It's gonna advance you. Probably top 6 for the first week, and then we're getting our pod luck. So I like it. This is fine. 6%. We're correlated 6%, so that's really good. We have a lot of that NFC South and teams that play against the NFC South because we have a lot of AFC East. So there's a lot of like weekly matchups with this team. So if we just get kind of luck box, the game of the week, the game that goes off, there's a lot of correlation between our conferences with NFC South, AFC East here. I like it. I think we did a really strong build, and definitely a way that I want to attack the Eliminators is kind of like how we just built this.
Yeah, I think ultimately pretty happy with the team. Jason asked thoughts on how to approach the contest like the Husky 2. That's 1 out of 4, 1 out of 4, 1 out of 6. Would you draft it more like an Eliminator?
Again, I draft it like I draft everything. High floor, high ceiling. That's what I'm trying to do. And that's by placing 3 good-sized team bats in your build. Running backs on good teams, wide receivers tethered to good quarterback play, period. Try to stack up your tight ends with your quarterback again, or if you're going to get a tight end, make sure it's on somewhat of a passing offense.
Yep. You could also make you can make the argument either way with the with more teams advancing. Like you can actually take more risk in some ways too on some of the high upside plays. But yeah, I think generally my approach is similar to yours, where I want to have some mix of floor and ceiling. Week 8 is pretty tough this year. Like in general, just like the early rounds, it'd be easy to just have, your first 4 picks. If you're not paying attention, just get 4 week 8 buys. And then it's like, you're giving up a ton of projection to anybody you're facing in week 8. So yeah, something we definitely need to be paying attention to. What's up, C Money? All right. I feel good about the team. We read it off already. Do you have anything else to say before you get out of here? Go find some water.
Yeah, I'm going to go swimming.
Nice.
Hope your cat feels better, Neil.
Appreciate
have
it.
Fun in Boston, man. I'm bummed. I'm not.
I know. I was sad you couldn't come.
Yeah,
but it'll be a good time. I'm sure you'll enjoy your vacation as well that weekend. And and you'll also be back in time. By the way, I guess we're both traveling that same weekend. But you're gonna be back by Monday night. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'll be back Sunday night. But yeah, looking forward to diving into DraftKings with you this week. And again, thanks for the opportunity to talk this kind of gets my gears thinking. Putting the slides together kind of gets me thinking and opened up this AFC or the NFC South to me quite a bit for continuing building this for the last month that we have in drafting season. So I'm going to really try to take advantage of that and more the Eliminator and my rest of my BBMs to try to see how much I can get correlated against the NFC South and also with them as well. So hopefully we can ship something this year.
Let's do it. Let's win something. Less than a month. We have less than a month left to draft. It's getting to the end here, but yeah, we'll do a few more. We're going to be back next week we're scheduling it for 8:30 Eastern. Of course, I have a flight coming in that night, so we're going to have to, there's a chance we'll have to reschedule or something, but we're shooting for 8:30 Eastern. We're going to be back to talk DraftKings next Monday on Mondays with Math. So check us out there. And by the way, if you have not liked the video, would appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, trying to grow. If you want to get alerts, get an alert when we go live next week, hit that little notification bell. But we're going to get out of here. Thanks, guys. We will check you next week.